Luminous Arise is the game of the year 2025. I am not drawing this out with a cutesy tease or anything. This statement is definitive. I have waited 6 years for this. Ever since Tetris Effect came out, I knew deep down that Mizuguchi would do the same type of brain-melting audiovisual masterpiece for his baby, and the only puzzle game I would claim has dethroned Tetris, Luminous. And it's here. Luminous Arise is the delivery of that unknown promise. You could easily shorthand this as Luminous Effect, and 80% of the review could be done right there. It is a sensory vacation that will leave your eyes watering and your ears begging for more. It is one of the most connected experiences I've had with a video game, and I didn't even have the chance to play it in VR. It is simply so beautiful that I pray this is what the brain experiences during its last seconds of its life. But if you can believe it, there's actually a fair amount to talk about with gameplay changes. Now, there's been a lot of Luminous games between the original and now, so this may have been something that was a priority from the beginning and I didn't notice, or possibly prioritized in a different release, but Arise wants you to build differently. To increase your bonus multiplier, you need to build a square 3x3 large, which is harder than it sounds, and it takes a bit of forward thinking to pull off. Even if this was how the bonus multiplier worked in older games, Arise is laser focused on this. The screen gets tighter the closer you get to making the 3x3. The game is narrowing your attention on completing this goal and squeezing the tension only to let you feel that release once it's been cleared. Oh, I should also mention now that I'm playing on my ultra wide and cropping the footage tight because you don't need to see all those fat ass letterboxes. But the other, more concretely new addition is the burst mode. You have a percentage on your bar that, anytime after 50%, will allow you to enter burst. During burst, you cannot die, and the color match that is active is what you want to build around to make into a larger and larger square. The larger you make the square, the more it ejects the opposite color and clears up space for you to continue pumping the size. You only get so many passes of the bar to do this. When it's done, the gigantic match is cleared, and all the ejected pieces come back down to likely get you another huge match combo. I am shocked how well this works. This feels like a natural addition to the game. You already had the chain clear block to help you out of tight spots, but burst can be a manually activated form of help, and it never feels tacked on. It feels like it was always supposed to be here. I had one moment where I went into burst, which kind of low pass filters the music. I made my big match, and when everything kicked in, I was so blown away by the presentation that I audibly let out a fuck. It's sensational. It's a dream I never want to wake up from. The sights and the sounds and the fucking rumble. Oh god, I've heard this game goes insane on a DualSense with haptic feedback and rumble features. It's taking all your available senses it can control and drawing you into the game. I was catching myself leaning further and further towards the screen because I've never felt a level of connectedness like this before. I cried. I'm not even joking. Here's the picture. It wasn't even because I was emotional, although you should brace yourself because I think the last fifth of levels have an emotional impact of a fucking bus. But instead, it's because my senses were so overloaded I had no choice but to produce tears. I called it eye-watering, and I meant that in the most literal way. This game will pull deep from you in ways that a block drop puzzler should never be able to. But decades of Mizuguchi's synesthetic style have been sharpened to a razor blade at this point. It is an impossible task to try and find words to describe how a game with no characters or narrative can strike your heart so deeply and with such rawness. You have the additional gameplay features to round out the experience. Tutorials to help people learn Luminous block theory, challenges with weird rules, even an online multiplayer element. But the steak and potatoes is the main journey. That trip through the sights and sounds of the Luminous experience. It is simply astounding that this game is real. That it's real and it's only $40 and it's only 6 gigs. This would probably take the back of my head off if I was playing it on a PS5 or a computer that had been upgraded in the last decade. Eternal thank you to my friend TC who gifted this to me. I am so happy that this game is real. For most of this year, the Game of the Year was going to be yet another instance of fading to black before I coyly pondered just what on earth it could be this year, as if another entry in playing every Final Fantasy kinda wasn't the answer. But no, Luminous Arise dropped like an H-bomb. Obviously, Chrono Trigger is a runner-up since it was the answer for most of the year, but also Ridge Racer 7 should get mad props for runner-up as well. That game captured me and I continued to play it past the creation of that video. Shoutouts to Final Fantasy Legend 2, aka Saga 2. That could have easily won in a weaker year, and you won't actually see that video until 2026. But this year has a winner, and that winner is Luminous Arise with no hesitation.